Hello and welcome to Tested.com's CES 2013 recap. That means we're at CES. Hey guys, let's get right to it. I want to introduce my guests for tonight. They are not Will Smith and Gary Whitta. Will and Gary.
We have enough hair for Will. Red hair.
Red hair. If I did some
My wife is
fancy
British.
cutting-
Boom, Gary Whitta.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, this is Robbie Baldwin and Christina Bonnington, both from Wired Gadget Lab. You guys are ace reporters, real reporting, real journalism from Wired.com. How you guys doing?
You're doing good. Feet are tired though.
Yeah, I lost my voice before I even got here, so I kind of lost.
Oh.
I lost CES already.
Oh no.
It's okay.
Well, you can still write.
She's a
Yes.
60-year-old
Your fingers are okay.
chain smoker.
Yeah.
Yeah, feet are tired, vocal cords are tired, and the brain is mush. I bet you can't remember anything you did today. It was probably a long day.
I'm trying.
I talked to some people about some things. Some of those things are technology. Some
well-
of them might have been about ducks.
Let me get some housekeeping out of the way. If you guys are watching live, there's a chat going on right now at Tested.com/live. Hopefully some of the audio problems we've been having earlier this week are remedied today, but please feel free to continue letting us know on Twitter. I'm just at @nchan or just in the feed right now. If you're watching this after the fact, sorry, we're doing our best with equipment we have. Will and Gary, as I said, aren't here. They're back in San Francisco working from home base. Will has one eye on the CES feed, one eye on his pregnant wife. Exciting things are happening all over the place. But we want to talk about the exciting things happening here. So today was the first day of the show floor. Yesterday we had some guests. We had Flo and Casey from Ars Technica. We're all friends. It's just like a small community of friends, right? And we talked about the press conference day, just the whole dog and pony show. I'm sure you guys were a bunch of those.
Yeah.
We can recap some of that stuff too. But today was also the very first day that the show floor open, and we want to give people a sense of what CES is like when you're walking the floor. You know, what the layout is like, what the atmosphere is like, and but you guys have been here a couple times. How this year might be different, better, more interesting, less interesting than years past. I want to start off talking about Qualcomm's event last night, because we touched on it, but I think Casey was the only one who went, and I don't think she adequately communicated, because she was really tired, the craziness, and I didn't know about that until today.
I was.
You were there.
I was there.
Christina was at the Qualcomm event.
It was.
Changed her life.
It was the craziest keynote I've ever been to, and I went to the Sony keynote last year, so that's saying something.
And the Sony keynote last year was one where they trotted out Will Smith and Barry Sonnenfeld and Kelly Clarkson, just like, everyone go away, but here's Kelly Clarkson singing us out acoustic song.
Yes. So this year we had, we had an actress from Star Trek, Alice Eve.
Okay.
We had Big Bird. We had a NASCAR driver. I forgot his name.
Wasn't Jeff Gordon?
It wasn't Jeff Gordon. It was someone who won this past
Earnhardt?
year's.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
No, it was someone else.
It was
a
only
NASCAR
NASCAR.
person.
We're not NASCAR guys.
Sorry, NASCAR fans.
Yeah. We had Guillermo del Toro. And Maroon 5 closed the show.
I heard it was only Maroon 3.
It was only
Are there 5 of them in that band? Is that how it works?
I
don't know. I've never
so.
seen.
Yeah, I always thought it must have been 5.
It's like the Jackson 5.
But then there's the
Five?
Ben Folds 5, and it's only 3. But they're
That's
actually
awkward.
talented and good to listen to.
So
on Maroon
what
5.
was like? Okay, I saw like the people posting tweets
Yeah.
from yesterday and the photos. And what was it like when Ballmer ran out?
It was so unexpected. I was like, what is going on?
Because there's a GIF now.
Yeah.
Well,
He
of
just
him
ran
just, like,
out.
scurrying like, "Hey guys, don't forget me, developers."
Yeah, totally. It was. I think at that point we knew, in retrospect, it was like kind of like the first sign, like, this isn't going to be quite as like boring as I kind of thought it was because Qualcomm. Like,
I mean, they make ARM
they make chips. Yeah.
Right? They're in e-readers and tablets. And
The radios for all your phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they're like
They have a big
Marvell.
augmented reality
what Marvell
system.
wants to be.
Yeah.
Right?
They pulled out all the stops to like be super crazy and make a name for themselves.
Because all they had for the opening keynote, which is going to supposedly be a big thing. They're replacing Microsoft. They really had only enough 15 minutes of content, of real content, and they needed to fill an hour of stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about this mobile generation thing. Born Mobile. What was the deal with that?
So the deal with that was, so did y'all talk about how the opening keynote started with this skit
No,
So
no.
it started with this skit. These three kind of like teenage, early 20s actresses. One girl and two guys. The girl,
Cast of the new girl.
yeah. So the girl is all like, I'm not a techie, but I love my phone because it keeps me connected to my friends, and I've got to be the center of attention all the time with my tweets and my messages, was the basic gist of it. And so I was like, cool way to start the keynote.
It's like bad high school theater.
Yes, it really was. And then next was the gamer nerd, the gamer nerd dude who's like, I'm all into tech and I love
Just like
games.
that.
Did you do this? Did you do that?
He totally might have.
Oh.
If not, then he should have. Because obviously this is what gamers do. I don't know.
Always. Play
Yeah.
a game and then you do it. Headshot.
All right.
And then third was the well-dressed tech entrepreneur, the black blazer, the black shirt, and he's all like, yeah, I play games sometimes, but I'm a little too busy for that on a daily basis. But I remember playing you, and you were pretty good. Yeah, and then
Wow.
they closed.
So they had like, were they gonna dance off or something? Was it?
They just,
At any
yeah.
point did they freeze and then someone else come out on stage?
No, they didn't. It ended up.
This is your brain on drugs.
Yeah, like it was kind of like it just kind of closed, and they're all like, "I'm born mobile. I'm born mobile." Like they're all born mobile.
We are born mobile.
And then it like blacked, and then
We are Africa. Yeah. So the idea is that hashtag Born Mobile is their new slogan because their chips are in mobile devices, and
they started the whole mobile revolution because they were back in the day.
Could they
making all
have
those
been more
chips.
patronizing to the audience that was writing about them? No, probably not.
Yeah.
Wow. Now I wish I'd gone.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty crazy. And then they had another video that was also, so that was like, was it Gen Y? I get it confused with like Gen X and Gen Y actually.
So wait, hold on, because
Gen Y?
I think
What's
we're all like-
millennials? Millennials.
right, there was Gen Y in the 90s, Gen
Yes.
X in the
Gen X is like
graduated high school like late 80s, early 90s. That's how.
Let's just say TV shows. If you watched Cosby's show, that was way before. If you watched Full House,
you're
you're
Gen
Gen
X.
X. If
Okay.
you watch Boy Meets World,
Gen
you're
Y.
Gen Y. If you watch Hannah Montana, you're millennial.
millennial.
Oh,
There you
That's
go.
good.
okay, that's
Suck
good
it,
to know.
millennials. So, there's a new generation.
Yes, so that was kind of like the opening thing. But then they had another video that was like, everyone is born mobile, which I got kind of confused about that. So they had this video that had like old people and 5-year-olds and 12-year-olds and everyone saying how they're born mobile. So apparently we're all, even if we're not millennials, we're also born mobile.
Wow.
Yeah.
This makes me really want to buy Qualcomm chips or
Doesn't
buy
it?
phones
Yeah.
with
I
Qualcomm
just buy
chips.
bags of them now.
Yeah. I heard Alice Eve, when you mentioned the Star Trek actress, really did not look like she wanted to be there.
Yeah, she seemed definitely kind of uncomfortable.
Reading from a teleprompter.
Yeah.
So we've been to all these keynotes. Have you guys ever, because the keynotes and the press conferences are all packed, right?
Yes,
and
yeah.
usually it goes like this. It's a big auditorium, and it's obviously scales depending on the size of the keynote, whether it's an Apple keynote or something like a Samsung or a smaller one. The first 2 rows are reserved for company, like members of the company. It's like people are going to clap for
Everything they
and
said.
friends and family. And then you have like reserved for analysts and maybe like the super VIP bloggers. So you're going to have like Walt Mossberg gets to sit in front, and Ryan from Gadget gets to sit in front, and maybe you guys get to sit in a place. But basically 2 rows of nothing but people with MacBook Airs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like heads down. It's like heads down, MacBook, bright screen light up in their face.
Yeah.
Right? And then analysts get to sit in the back, and everyone gets to sit in the back. But have you guys ever sat in front of a teleprompter?
No,
I have. I think I sat in front of the teleprompter maybe at an Apple event.
It's awesome. So they usually, for these events, they have big TVs. It's not like the president does a teleprompter and there's like a floating screen.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of a room and big TVs. And if you sit next to a teleprompter and you're live logging, guess what? The text is right there. You can just turn your head and
just start
transcribe. because it's all
man.
scripted, word for word, all the jokes. It's all scripted.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's a pro tip.
Pro tip.
Yeah.
Sit in front of
Good
the
to know.
Even if you have to sit on stage, just get in front. Or put a little mirror up there.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Double
I just
mirror.
want to leave my
That's a good idea.
compact here.
All right. You can let the have you guys seen the reflective mirror that does the it doesn't do reverse mirroring. Like it doesn't flip stuff. It's like a curved mirror. There's math involved.
Yeah.
And
Math
it's not
and
perfectly
optics,
sharp, but the way light bounce around it, when it comes back to you, it looks right. It does not look reversed.
So it looks wrong because I'm used to seeing myself this one way. It's going to show me the way I really
Right.
look, which is the opposite of the way I think I look.
Here's a little bit of a brain teaser. Why in a mirror? When you look in a mirror, your left to right is reversed, but your top and down are not reversed, are not flipped.
You know what? If you're saying like that.
Nope. Then still left to right.
Because of stereo eyes?
No.
I don't know.
I actually,
Magic?
I don't know this.
That's
piece
a brain
of trivia.
teaser. We'll come to this at the end of the show. Your heads are gonna explode.
Magic. It's just magic.
Yeah, mirrors are because it's
Right before he
it's a
tells
separate
you,
dimension.
Oh,
Right? It's like it's
before he tells you,
yeah.
just stop the pod, stop watching.
Right.
Because mystery's nice.
It's actually there's a piece of
They come back later.
It's one of these brain teasers they ask like people at MIT when they join fraternities or something like because they think they're super smart and like oh I don't know what is that. So yesterday's press conferences, what were some of the highlights for you guys?
I went to the Monster press conference.
Oh, we didn't
And
know anything
it
about that.
was,
Was it just Beats
it
Audio?
just kept, just a bunch of headphones, really.
Yeah, Beats Audio.
Yeah.
Monster.
It's like, here's a bunch of headphones. It was
But it
mostly-
closed awesome though, right?
But well, first they brought out Tyson Beckford, and then they brought out someone else, and then they brought out Sheila E., and then they brought out.
I don't know who these people are.
Okay, these are all celebrities. Sheila E.
Oh.
was like is a drummer.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, she's not drumming. So they brought all the celebrities, but when they came out, they couldn't like leave.
Oh, so you had to stand
Like
on the side?
no leave. Like they all just had to stand there. He wouldn't let them leave. He's like, oh, wait here. So he's on his Segway, like cruising.
he's on a
up-
Segway?
Oh yeah, he's on a Segway. Noel's on a
Always,
Segway.
always.
He's always on a Segway.
Oh.
And he's like kind of cruising up there and giving his little spiel, and they're just kind of like lining up in the back. And I felt
like a
so
school
bad for
play.
Tyson Beckford because he was there the entire time. And then at the end, they had kids breakdancing.
That sure sounds like. Was this live streamed also for fans of Monster Audio and Beats?
I don't know, but I got video of the kids breakdancing. I made a GIF.
Huh.
As I.
There's always great gems that come out of these press conferences. You always got to wonder if the people planning them they know that this is like they're totally manipulating the snarky viral nature.
You need a hook.
No one's gonna go tweet about sharp stuff, so let's bring out TVs that people can hang around their necks and carry out, like that was last year.
Yeah.
So people tweet how ridiculous those things are, and then that's brand awareness. We're falling into their traps.
yeah.
So nothing really exciting from Monster Audio.
They have a Bluetooth speaker that's coming out.
I hate the celebrity endorsements.
Well, it's not Slay, it's just Katana. It doesn't have like a celebrity attached to it.
Tortori Hanzo Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
There you go. Christina, any press conference notable announcements?
Let's see. So I went to a couple yesterday. I mean, obviously the Qualcomm one was like the big crazy thing.
Any actual products that you thought, oh, this could be good, or it's something I want to see on the floor?
Yeah. So I saw a lot of new 4K TVs at Panasonic and Sharp. They're like super expensive and super pretty and not something I'm ever gonna buy
It's
anytime
super not
soon.
worth it.
Yeah, we kind of touched on this yesterday too, because every one of these big CE companies that do TVs, and they're really the only companies that kind of matter at CES anymore, right? It's LG, Samsung, and Sony.
Yeah.
And to a lesser extent, you have Panasonic,
yeah.
Sharp, and Toshiba, and them.
Yeah.
Like each of these companies now have one 4K TV they want to put out on the market. Sony can say, well, they had their TV out 3 months ago, 6 weeks ago, but that's a $25,000 TV.
Yeah.
And now they have 3 of them. There's no need for the 4K right now because there's no content.
Right.
Well, there's no content, and also if you are sitting in your house, the great thing about 4K is that if you're going larger than 80 inches,
84
so
inches.
if you're a millionaire and you have a big home theater,
Tell me more.
1080p, once you get past like 80 something inches, you can kind of see the pixels. And so like, 4K is perfect for this. Our 4K projectors, awesome. 4K projectors are awesome. But if you had your regular 1080p TV on in your house and a 4K TV on in your house, and they're both like 50 inches and they're both about the same distance away from you, you're not.
Right, there's a ratio. There's
You're not
an
gonna really
equation
tell.
you do based on the size of the TV, diagonal, and the distance you are in the viewing angle, and the content, the bit rate. All of these things have to be at a perfect combination of these things for 4K to matter.
And if you put your nose up to it, to both of them, you're like, okay, I can totally see that the pixels are better. And that's what they do. They always like zoom in to watch it. To basically, you would be watching your TV like this to show how much better it is.
Yeah.
In a blind test, a double blind test, it would be very difficult to differentiate unless you're really trained and you've seen like one specific scene many, many times.
Yeah. I talked to the THX guys about this, and they're like, well, you might not be able to tell this. And one of the engineers is like, I could tell a difference because that's his job. And these guys are like super trained, or
it's like those dudes
crazy
who
smart.
have the perfect nose, and they are groomed to work at perfume factories because they're the only ones who can smell the differences. It's engineers who have the perfect eyes. It's the reason to get LASIK.
But it's so you spend all this money and you get this 50-inch TV, and then it's maybe marginally better than the 50-inch TV you already have. And what happens is once you have your TV in your house, guess what the best TV in your house is? That TV. Unless your TV is more than 5 years old, where you can still there's some encoding issues. The best TV, as soon as it's in your house, it's the best TV. So
and my mom's not going to know the difference.
Exactly. And we're watching
She's
everything
already
on
blown
Netflix
away.
anyway.
Yeah, Netflix. Well, we'll talk about Netflix 4K if you guys have seen a little bit about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But you're right. There's the content isn't there.
Yeah.
Even video that's being streamed over dish or cable, that's all 1080i.
It's 1080i. There's not even
and they're all low
1080p
bit rate.
yet.
Even if it's really 1920 by 1080, it's at a very low bit rate. Fast motion in sports, you're going to get the compression problems.
Yeah.
That's why.
Over the air is better looking still than cable and everything.
Yes, unless you have the clouds, unless there are trees in the way, then I lose the picture.
The trees, wind, birds, sneezes.
Yeah.
Butterflies.
Which
is why Sony is making such a big deal at their booth. Not only that they have 3 4K TVs, but they also have better scalers now. So they're actually demoing 2K content, Blu-rays, and they're scaled up. They showed like Amazing Spider-Man and a difference between Spider-Man mastered in 4K, because that was shot with a 4K camera and edited in 4K, and the Blu-ray, which is 2K and scaled up. Native 4K is going to look better, but the 2K doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
It's not making all of the potential.
Yeah.
We need more cameras. You need the workflow in the production houses to be actually in 4K, the renders to be in 4K. We'll see. It'll be better over time.
Yeah,
and the cost really needs to go down. It's really a 0.1% lifestyle right now.
And I feel like it's so soon. Like, we still haven't even accepted the 3D trend from 3 years ago
that's
got
dead. 3D is
introduced.
dead.
Well,
But they still
throw it
have
out the
3D
window.
in these TVs though. Like, these 4K TVs are also 3D ready.
What can we put them in? Let's put it in those 4Ks.
This is the story of the TV business. It was 5 years ago or so. They hit gold when the U.S. government said no more over-the-air broadcasts. They're all digital, no more analog over-the-air. So everyone had to upgrade to HDTV, and HDTV took a long time as a standard to be agreed upon between TV manufacturers and the content producers. And the U.S. government said, put a date. Everyone buy the TVs, and the TV manufacturers said, yeah, so we can now sell these HDTVs. Everyone bought 720p TVs. Everyone bought, and it was at the right time where plasma was getting a little cheaper, LCDs were getting a little cheaper, and they made a lot of money those years, or that 1 year.
And even leading up to that, people were because there's such a stark difference between your CRT and this nice thing. You're like, oh my, and then everyone could buy one.
Right, and they were getting under $1,000, getting more affordable. And then the way business works is that, you made X amount of money this year, you got to make more next year. There's got to be growth. You can't be stagnant, and you got to find some ways to use this new revenue to invest in innovation. But the innovation that the TV industry decided was, hey, let's do 3D
And smart TVs.
Well, that was the year after. So it went from I think it went from HD TVs, then everyone said plasma suck. Let's do LCDs. And then they went from LCDs to here's LED backlit LCDs, right? Because that was hot,
Yeah.
right? And then they went to 3D, and then they put that was about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, 3D was the thing. Avatar, and
And-
some people in Hollywood were pushing for it. Then with smart TVs, the year after that.
Yes.
And this year, I thought I would have put money on it being 4K, but it seems like there's doubling down on smart TVs.
Yeah, I think
because
it's
they know
both.
it's the price is still like too much for the general public, and and when people are, the problem with now and 5-10 years ago, if people are a little bit more educated about what technology they're buying, thanks to all the blogs, things to test it, and why everyone who's out there writing about this, because we're not going to say 4K is awesome because it's something new. We're a bit more critical of
impulsive,
things.
really?
Yeah, I mean,
But I want to be first.
I think and I think tech writing has become a little bit more mature. I think there was a lot of rah at the beginning for tech blogs about everything, and then finally you kind of, and I don't want to say cynical, because I mean there are people who are cynical out there, but I think it's a little bit more reserved as to critical and reserved as to what's going on out there. And really 4K, it doesn't. I mean, it's beautiful. If you have a chance to go into a store and see a 4K TV
With
big,
native
giant,
4K.
with native 4K and that crazy loop that they do, but those 1080p's with that same loop looks amazing that you'll never get in your home. I mean, but they're beautiful TVs, but they're, like I said, once you get it home, it's got much difference.
Right.
And it's a lot.
I bet there's probably a significant portion of people who own HD capable TVs who probably aren't using HDMI cables. They're probably using component cables or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or they don't have their TVs calibrated. Like calibrating your TV and turning some things off and getting the white balance right and the color and the brightness right, that goes a long way. And that's something that you can pay a technician a couple $100 to do.
Your lights in different areas.
Yeah,
doing this.
backlighting behind the TV and just setting up your room properly. That goes a long way.
Yeah.
But you guys think 4K is the real deal, not like 3D?
I don't think it's because they're always talking about 8K, and that's the problem.
know,
is
I
that
know.
it's not like they were talking about 3D.
Who's always talking about 8K?
Yeah.
They were talking about 3D. It wasn't like there was 4D right behind it. 4K, and by the time it makes sense, and there's end of life, and it's gonna have to be 8K. In
It's
my
gonna
mind.
have to be.
It's for
There are
people
only
who want to
2
buy
8K TVs
Unless
in existent, cameras
what-
in existence right now.
But that's the next thing, so
Yeah, I think
excited.
4K is just kind of like this middle area. I mean, unless
Well, so
and
if
like
you're-
3 or 4 years, and 4K comes down to what I'm paying right now for an LED backlit 1080p TV.
$3,000 TV.
And they're just like, oh, it's the same as this, and they just stop making 1080p, and that's the TV that's out. Then okay. But it seems, but at that point, it's not really what they wanted. They don't want people to wait 3 or 4 years. They want people the first adopters to buy it now. They want sports bars to buy it now, and they want you to go and watch your movies on their least music or media player.
And that's the other half of the technology spectrum. So at CES, it's obviously for consumers. We're writing for people buying stuff. At other conferences like NAB, it's for the broadcasters, and they're going to try to sell 4K cameras to sports stadiums, to news studios, so that they're at least getting 4K in their workflow initially. So they're saving it in 4K, so they can edit in 4K, output it in 4K. And right now, movies. Did you know that in theaters, like digital cinemas, vast majority of them are Sony projectors. They're actually 2K up converted to 4K when you're watching a digital movie. Yeah. So that
was the push. Well, Sony sold a lot of 4K projectors.
right,
to
but
theaters.
the content is actually just 2K when they download it from the studio.
I feel
Yeah.
so chipped because you have to pay $20 when you go to the movie theater
It's
now.
very expensive.
Yeah.
Well, there's always the high frame rate that you can look forward to.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the next thing. High frame rate. Red cameras.
But you don't have TiVo. You can't just pause it. That's the problem. Oh, I gotta pee so bad right now. What's James Bond gonna do? That's what happened in the last movie.
Yeah.
All right, let's change the pace a little bit and talk about food. I want to talk about food. 2 things. One thing CES related, and one thing not CES related. We didn't mention this yesterday, but we're doing pizza for everyone. The secret pizza place. You guys never eaten there.
No.
Did you guys know it was called the secret pizza place?
No, I thought you just
No.
made that up because you didn't
Yeah.
want us to eat there because you
knew-
didn't want a big long line.
Yeah, I knew that there was I heard that there was a secret pizza place here, but I didn't know it was called Secret Pizza.
this is really a gauge of taste. Because
Okay.
yesterday we had someone from New York, Casey's from New York, and she was poo-pooing the secret pizza place. Yeah, real New Yorker. But you guys thought it was decent, right?
It was good.
Yeah,
good.
we
Yeah,
thought it was
it's-
decent. We are burrito connoisseurs.
Yeah.
Well,
We're from San
But you know,
San
I went to
Francisco.
New York
We have-
last year, and Joe from Gizmodo. Like, if you want to know anything about pizza,
He knows all. He's the
yes.
pizza whisperer.
Yes, he is the pizza whisperer. He will tell you like the history of like a pizza place, like what he was using a coal burning stove, oven, not a stove. That would be weird. Frying pizza up.
The
And
real
so
Neapolitan pizza.
yeah, he is. Yeah, he
Joey,
took
Joey, our producer here, he's a pizza maker himself. So
That's
I'm
cool.
sure you guys should probably talk.
I have some friends from college that their whole family are pizza throwers. So they like make pizza and they like throw it and they go to competitions around the world and it's crazy and it's awesome. And they make delicious pizza and they throw pizza parties.
That's safe.
Yeah.
Real pizza connoisseurs and secret pizza places.
It's good
all right?
pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know about this, they're not sponsoring the show or anything, but I do want. It's like the best, not secret in Vegas. Gary Wood, our podcast guy, our other host, he let us know about this last year. The Cosmopolitan. What you guys walked around
Yeah.
earlier. Can you tell me what the theme of the Cosmopolitan is?
Art and stuff.
You know, like
I'm just walking around like, oh, that's a cool piece of art. Oh, that's a cool piece of art. It's like New York. It's like
Yeah.
it feels like the Met, like the Metropolitan Museum, like the very high.
I feel
indie,
like-
Other places in
Artsy.
Vegas
Yeah.
have very clear themes.
Yeah.
Luxor, that's Egypt. New York, it's New York. Paris is Paris. Venetian is Venice. Bellagio is Italy.
Yeah.
Cosmo, what is it?
So the whole like the first
the
floor
art.
with like it has like all these like chandelier things with these like glittery, I don't know, are they rhinestones? Are they like, I don't know what they are, but they're all over the place. So I feel like the first floor is pretty unified in that theme, at least part of the parts I've walked through.
Glitz?
Glitz, yes, the first floor is glitz. But then you go to the other floors and it's just crazy. Like we came across this, like we were walking down the hallway and there's these 5 big giant stone dogs all in a circle.
The Stonehenge dogs.
Yeah, the
Yes.
Stonehenge
They're arranged like
dogs.
Stonehenge, but they're of dogs.
Yeah.
And then down the hall, there's a T-Rex skull.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
but it's like chromed or something. It's gaudy. That's what it is.
Gaudy.
The theme is gaudy.
Like if I wear a ring, I put like big like things on
Yeah.
there.
Giant high heel shoes.
Yes. It's a
Um,
robo high heel. It has,
Robo
like,
steampunk
ears.
heel, right? It is a future. What the 3,000 years in the future, what they would think rich people in the 2000s lived like. Like
That's the 2010s now.
2010s lived like. Yeah. So secret pizza place, fake pizza. It's so pretentious. We're a hotel in the middle of the desert, and we have a secret pizza place in our gaudy hotel in a narrow hallway that's supposed to be like you walked into a pizza place in New York. Literally, it's in the glitz area, like with the big chandelier. You walk by, there's a bathroom there, some conference room there, some tables, and then a hallway, no door. You walk down the hallway, and there are music albums on the walls, and then it's a little pizza place, and it looks like a New York pizza place with an arcade and everything. But they do really good pizza. So that's the one great
There you
thing
go.
about the Cosmo.
Yeah.
What kind of
Yeah.
oven do they have? Do you know?
It's not a brick oven. No, it's just like, but they do really good dough.
Yeah.
I really think quite good things. I wanted to talk about food and pizza because it turns out the one hot product from CES is
Fanny
a
packs?
fork.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
the fork. No, I
The
thought it was
fork.
the fanny pack.
That smart fork.
The fanny pack is not a real product. That was a tchotchke.
It's a product of me.
Did you wear it today? I know
I
you
wore
wore
it
yesterday.
today. Okay, so I like a week or so ago, I had threatened to buy fanny packs for myself and Matt Honan because I thought it would be funny. Because fanny packs are actually pretty helpful when I can reach in, I can grab my inhaler, whatever.
It's kind of like a
But-
purse, but like
But fanny pack went out of style. That 6
I don't
months
think-
in
I'm
like
not sure it's
1990
ever in
to
style.
like 1991. There was somewhere in there was a small little window of fanny pack. That's when they made all their money, and they've been trying to come back ever since.
What color? Colors are very important.
I don't remember.
Oh, I mean,
Hot
back then
pink?
it was hot pink. It was
gotta be
totally
hot- gotta be hot
neon
pink
colors.
Or
a bright
Dagon
yellow,
greenish
yeah,
yellow.
like a highlighter
Like,
yellow,
yeah.
and something like that. Okay, that's acceptable.
So
I
so I've made it like all these. I'm gonna buy this fanny pack. I kind of looked, but not really. And then we went to the Intel event, both myself and Matt Honan, and they had fanny packs. And so we've been wearing them. And at first you're just wearing it like, ha, look, we got
Is there
this
a
fanny
cool
pack.
way? Is there an ironic way to wear a fanny pack so you can pass it off as cool? Like you kind of sag it on one side or
I
something.
put it on
not
one side
tighten
so it's
up.
not like over here, but I can still.
It's more like a holster.
It's slightly
right?
askew.
It's like a belt. It's like
Yeah.
a gun holster,
Yeah.
except you are dragged on the side, and then like you pulled out your inhaler from it. No, I don't think so.
And your Galaxy Note.
oh,
it's
it's
like
not
the only thing
cool.
big enough for a Galaxy Note or
Oh
Note
yeah,
2.
they should sell them with Galaxy Notes. They should just come with it.
Yeah. I think
But,
it's a good
Place for
idea.
rest.
but
pen.
today, as I've been using the fanny pack more, I am enjoying the fanny pack, and I think all conferences in the future, I'm going to wear a fanny pack because I can put like my MiFi in there and like some headphones, and I don't actually use an inhaler, but I do have to use like eye drops. I have like really dry eyes, so I have to use these special eye drops, and I can have all these right here in like the nerdiest thing.
Do you have a secret
that's
compartment
ever-
for your passport and your?
Ooh, yeah, your fanny
for
pack needs a
ID
secret
and-
I
compartment.
know, right? I should sew one in there.
Yes.
You should also have like a necklace with a secret compartment also in your shirt.
And in your fanny pack,
The cyanide pill.
you should put that. Isn't there that luggage tracker? You should put the luggage tracker in your
Oh,
fanny
in case
pack
someone
just in
takes
case
my-
you misplace it or someone steals it off of your.
Well, that's
fanny.
the great thing about the fanny pack is that you don't have to take it off like a backpack. It's just there.
Yeah.
You can sit down with it. You can go.
The restroom.
That's a product
Is that what you
category,
were gonna say?
but a product specifically. If you guys have heard this, bring us back on track.
The fork.
The fork.
Did you see the
Yes.
fork? Who saw the fork? Someone saw the fork. I wasn't me. I haven't seen the
It
fork.
was Matt saw the fork.
Matt saw the fork. He probably
I've
stole
heard
one and
about,
put
I've
it in
heard
his
about
fanny
this
pack.
fork. I would like to know more about this fork.
We saw this fork this morning on CNN. CNN did a story about it.
It's
And
the Happy Fork or something? Happy Fork?
Happy Labs, I
Yes.
think, is the name of the company that makes this fork. And I thought nothing of it. Like, we were just eating breakfast, and it came on, and like, oh man, these people are CNN. Oh, they're CNN. They got to the show floor early, and then they chose the early time they got in to CES. Before everyone else, they chose that time to do a profile on this fork product. And I'll tell you about the product in just a second. And then later on in the day, we met up with one of our editors from our company who runs Glow.com. It's like a women's lifestyle magazine online. And the editor asked me, have you heard about the fork? So apparently it's like hot buzz about the fork, both legitimate coverage in CNN as the perfect example of the stupid technology no one needs, but it's fun to show off, and people watching it in America will, oh, that's CES. That's the future, and also for our crowd, like something to make fun of, and which is why I'm sure you guys send someone there. So
Yep.
let me describe this. It is an oversized fork with a giant, like Fisher-Price style handle, and what it does is it tells you, there's a sensor in it that tells you how much food you've picked up in the fork. Couldn't tell that with by the CNN broadcast because I couldn't hear what was going on, and
So it weighs your food. So as you're eating,
weighs your
it's keeping
food.
track of the
Yeah.
amount of
and
food.
the best part is it. Yeah, and weighs it, and I guess there might be some type of like measurement system, like over time. Oh, you've eaten X number of grams of food or something. Don't ask them apparently about the spoon. That's still in development.
How can that?
It seems
They've written the story for you. Oh,
Okay,
this year it's the fork.
just
Next
fill
year
this
it's
in.
the spoon.
Oh, boom, spoon.
Yeah.
I feel
Apparently
like a
that's
spoon would be easier to do than a fork, though.
probably.
They have the
Yeah.
Yeah.
fork.
From watching the CNN segment without any audio, we were trying to figure out what this product was, and our idea, I think, was much better than what the product actually is.
So what did y'all
We
expect
thought
to do?
it should be a fork makes sense because then you have sensors on the sides that would actually measure the chemical, it would do a sampling of the chemical composition of whatever you're stabbing in real time. And then based on knowing whether it's carbohydrates or fats, it would, or protein, it would give you feedback like, yay for eating more protein, and then you put your information. Yes, Louis C.K. voice tell you, no, it's too much food. Stop putting me in the Jell-O. Don't put me in your mouth. Why are you eating this?
Would it also track what's going on, like, in your body. Like if you're,
Stab yourself.
Like
No,
your
no,
saliva,
no, from your finger.
like your saliva. Oh, your hands.
And you
Oh,
could do your
so-
saliva
oh,
and
so
your
as you-
hands.
Saliva.
So like you
Brilliant.
could keep track of like
It can track your like
your
how
pulse,
you're metabolizing.
you
the
stab
food.
cake.
and your
And it knows it's
your
cake.
heart rate.
And then you put it in your mouth, and as you take the fork out, it knows one, that you've eaten the cake, and two, measures your saliva to know like what your your cholesterol level is or something.
Yeah.
You're a dead man.
I
if you
think
keep
we-
eating this. It just tells you.
And it tells you, no,
Stop. It
give
shocks
it up.
you.
Oh, and then it shocks you.
Ow.
Yeah.
But I really want cake. And then you just finally throw the fork down.
But
and
the
start
important
grabbing
part is that
cake.
Fisher-Price handle.
Yeah.
Makes it look friendly. I'm sure you can have, there are multiple colors.
Does it have
Yeah.
like a little, what's those little animals that you couldn't kill in the 90s? They were in a keychain? Tamagotchi.
Oh, Tamagotchis.
A Tamagotchi.
Does it have a little Tamagotchi inside?
Gen Y bullshit. I don't know.
A little Tamagotchi, and he starts out like kind of skinny, and then as you eat your cake, he just
Yes.
gets a
Yeah. Like,
little
what
bit
if, like,
bigger.
as you eat, you're also feeding your Tamagotchi, so you're both you're sitting feeding yourself, watching your Tamagotchi.
Like if you
grow.
go and you start losing
it's
weight
an avatar for
unexpectedly, you
yourself.
keep eating, so you start gaining weight, and it turns out there's like a glitch. They had to do a firmware update because making all these people overweight because the Tamagotchi wasn't gaining weight correctly.
The last thing I think we need is a smart fork.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, unless it's our smart fork that we just came up with, which is actually a pretty
much
excellent
cooler.
idea.
Yeah, I like our idea.
Kickstarter it.
Get on that.
Yeah.
So let's.
I know we can Kickstarter, get a bunch
Yeah,
of money, and
yeah.
we'll go to Mexico.
Exactly. Everyone gets T-shirts or pins.
Yes.
Right? If you donate $1, it's 10.22.
Oh, I gotta go.
Oh, Robbie, you gotta go.
I have to go. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness, we did start a little late for you. I'm gonna ask you one more question.
Sure.
What is the thing that you're looking most forward to in the CES in days to come? What's the best thing you've seen? You knew this question was coming.
What is the best thing?
I asked you this exact
seen?
question before we started.
You know what? This is the weirdest thing, and they've been making fun of me over at Wired because of this. But it's a light switch.
Oh
The
yeah.
light switch.
Yeah.
There's a
Looks lights.
I don't even
Wait,
remember
is
that.
this what you like tried to pimp on me in at the pep
Yes!
conference yesterday? And I'm like, don't fuck with me, dude.
No,
I'm
no,
too
I
tired
love
for
that.
this.
It's a light switch you can put anywhere because you don't have to wire it. It's and it connects to lights that are part of they're all the smart lights now.
Yeah.
They work over
'Cause we're all
Wi-Fi
too
or
lazy
Bluetooth.
to hit actual
you turn on
switches.
you plug them all in and you can dim them. You can make them different colors
Sure,
like
yeah.
the Hue or
Yep.
Wemo. Well, this one you get a light switch, and the switch is actually powered by you pressing it. And when you press it, it uses that energy to send a radio wave to turn on the light. And if you press and hold, it'll actually dim the light or up or down.
So are you saying that the switch is not connected to the wall at all?
It's not connected to anything.
And the power, the pumping action,
The pumping action makes power. It's kinetically powered.
I could see this as an as seen on TV item. So some old guy or a kid fumbling with the light switches in the dark.
Our light switch is too hard to find in your home.
Oh no! Which one is on and which one is off? But the pumping action. Boop.
You don't even have to pump it, just tap it. It's just like a regular,
It's just like a regular
yeah,
light switch.
it's like a
but-
rocker switch. It's not like
But
a
it's
flip.
not on the wall. It's somewhere else. So doesn't this sound?
No, you can
hard?
put it on the wall. You can put it wherever the hell. You can put it in a refrigerator if you want.
Well, can
I don't know why.
I'm gonna hang it from a string from the ceiling, so
And
as soon as
instead
I
of doing
open the
this, it's
door,
like-
I hit it with my face.
Yeah.
I can be
The-
like,
the best
can
thing
I use
you've
my
seen.
nose?
The bet for that, yeah.
Legitimately.
Legitimately the best thing I've seen because everything else is like little iteration. Oh, look, here's a better TV. Here's a nicer tablet. Here's a better this. Here's a better
Thanks
that.
for not being cynical, Robbie. Thanks for being
No,
critical.
I mean that's not cynical. That's being realistic.
This is the future of lights.
Pragmatic.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of for a long time this sort of home automation area, it was ridiculous because, and it goes back to the light switch. When did like turning on the lights, like getting up and going, when did that become so hard that you had to rewire your entire house, get these special transmitters that use ZB and all these other crazy things, so you could like use some crappy controller to
Technology.
to turn on your house.
All about coulda, never about shoulda.
Coulda, shoulda. But I think it's maturing to the point where it actually, it's easy to install because the other stuff was just ridiculous. Like I was like researching it once. I'm like, who would do this? Crazy people. No.
All right. Well, what else are you working on for Gadget Lab? I'll let you.
I did
your stuff.
I did write about 4K and how it's
Okay.
lame. And I'm doing a lot of cord cutting stuff now. I think there's a lot of movement right now in the content delivery area. It's kind of a difficult area because you still have the content creators, you still have the Warner Brothers, the Sony Pictures,
Content owners,
not
necessarily creators.
Most of them are creators. I mean, Sony Pictures will make a movie or make a TV show for this person.
Are you saying progress is inching forward in finding a good compromise, content delivery?
I think the distribution, even the content distribution people, they have to come to. I think they're getting to a point where they need to realize that if they are still in control. We can still say, oh, cord cutting's awesome, cord cutting's great, but for the average person, like picking up the remote control and going, that's the easiest way, and that's what people want. If someone cracks that before Comcast or Dish or whatever, where they only get the channels they want, they're not paying, you're basically not subsidizing channels you don't want anymore. Mm-hmm. If they don't figure that out within the next couple of years, someone else is going to figure that out. And I think they're kind of understanding that, but there's still a lot of fear, both on the creators and the distributors side. When I worked in entertainment, just dealing with executives in
no one wants
TV.
to change their ways.
Yeah. Yeah, but these people are very scared because they saw what happened with the
music.
Music, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then they're just like, okay, we gotta. So that's stuff I'm actually working on right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and CES has become kind of a show for that. There are a lot of conference tracks and seminars where you have not just TV manufacturers, but content makers and content owners meeting with the people developing technology, and that's finding some type of compromise.
Yeah, because I mean, there has to be some sort of compromise between the people who are creating this technology and the creators, because I think there's this sort of, we're in Silicon Valley, we know what we're doing, we know, we're so smart, and you guys are old school, and but they're still making the TV shows that you really like. And we are, well, some of us are smart, and some of them up there are dumb. But I think there's got to be that middle ground. There's got to be those people who work together, as opposed to this sort of like us versus them attitude that I've seen a lot between Silicon Valley and Hollywood.
Cool. Well, Robbie, keep on fighting that good fight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We want
this
to
is
keep
fun.
you, Christina, here for a little bit. Talk more about CES. Robbie, I want to trade you out for another ginger. That's
all right.
Yes. It's not a derogatory term, right?
Yeah. No. We got to keep the ginger ratio.
Yeah. Oh,
No.
Own it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Gingers.
Well, we're going to swap you out and bring Wes Fenlon in from Tesla.com. And we will talk about more from the show floor. Christina, let's talk about the actual show floor.
Yes.
How many times have you been to CES?
This is my third CES.
Third CES. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you were here 2 years ago when I guess
3D was getting big. 3D was one of the big things. Tablets were huge.
I know my CES in terms of Ballmer keynotes.
So this was the Ballmer keynote.
Not the Tweet Choir, because that was last year. It was the one before that.
It wasn't a super exciting Ballmer keynote, I don't think. I didn't go to last year's Ballmer keynotes, but I went to the one 2 years ago. So
3D being big, then last year was smart TVs.
Yes.
Okay. And were you overwhelmed when you first went?
It was opened my eyes to the world. It was a life-changing experience.
This is a lot of people in one place.
Yeah, and you learn. I learned quite a few important lessons. So there's so many people coughing and sneezing all the time, and I'm a terrible example this year because I'm like all this voice thing. But I hold my breath when I go through crowds a lot of times because there's so often you're just walking and someone just coughs right in front of your face.
Or worse, yeah.
And I mean, I can't do it all the time because literally, like, you're just going through crowds all the time.
It's like driving across a bridge or going under a tunnel.
Yeah.
You should make a wish also as you're
I
walking through crowds.
probably should.
Yeah.
And then, drinking a lot of water, wearing
Hydrating
comfortable
is so important.
sneakers all day long, and lots of Purell.
Oh, and they have Purell places everywhere.
Yeah, they've definitely added that. I feel like in the past couple of years, I feel like in the Venetian and some of the other hotels for the press conference days, there's those all over the place.
Let's give people a sense of the lay of the land and what CES is. So if you've never been to Las Vegas, and even if you haven't been to Las Vegas, you might have not seen the convention center. It is a massive convention space.
It's got to be at least at least half a mile wide, right? Would you say that?
I would
Do you
say
think so? Quarter mile?
Probably half a mile seems conservative almost.
Yeah.
But the idea is that the entire convention center is broken into many halls. Primarily 3 halls: a
Yes.
North Hall, a Central Hall, and a South Hall. And South Hall is kind of special. But when I say hall, it's not just like a hallway. We're talking about a room that's big, like the size of an airplane hangar.
Yeah.
High ceilings, wall to wall, and it's not just like halls one next to each other. There's a weird like curve around them, and the booths really start out in the North Hall. So we'll go from north to south.
Yes.
And North and Central are the big C companies. You have Sony, far into the hall. Then you have next to them Samsung and LG and Panasonic. And then you kind of go into Central Hall, and that kind of changes every year. That used to be where Intel and Microsoft kind of held their ground. But you also have companies like Motorola used to be there, and now it's like Hisense.
It's Hisense, and I forgot who took Motorola's this year.
Yeah, like GoPro
Yes,
is
in
over
there.
there. But these are massive booths
Yeah.
where you have rows and rows of kiosks and attendants, and everyone's designed differently. The carpet is also quite nice on some of them.
Yeah. Yeah, and so the entire space takes up, I think, like hundreds of millions of square feet.
Yeah.
Something like 150,000 people fit inside of there each day. It's just ginormous. I feel like each year I end up at some point getting lost in the Samsung booth. It's
Right.
that big that I just start getting in there and I don't know.
It has its own little territories
Yeah.
within the booth, right?
Yeah.
Its own, yeah.
There's there's like walls of TVs. You've got they've got all sorts of. It's all segmented. There's like camcorders in one section. They've got their TV section. There are the smartphones and tablets, and so it's all broken up in maybe villages, like little villages of products within this big, their big booth. And each company has
Fiefdoms.
those. Yes. And in between these, there's like blocks, and so there'll be a couple companies whose booths are right next to each other, kind of in the same block, kind of like a city block, really. And then there's these hallways or walkways that go between them, just filled with people. It's all just filled with people everywhere.
It's incredible. It's kind of awesome, literally.
Yeah.
Wes, I want to introduce Wes Venlin. You're not allowed to talk until I introduce you. Is officially the rule, as I've been told.
Now I can speak.
Now you can speak. You have permission to speak. We've doubled up the ginger ratio.
Yep.
Yes.
Is your second year at
Second year,
CES
yep.
also? You agree with our description of
It being massive.
Of it being massive and
I think
overwhelming, and
half mile is probably about right, or maybe
Yeah.
even a little longer. I mean, it's
Yeah.
definitely huge.
I mean, just think about the sheer number of like man hours, person hours required to organize logistically and produce cumulatively in aggregate this entire event. A lot of people say that CES might not be around anymore, or next year won't be what it used to be. If CES did not exist, millions, tens of millions, maybe even $100 million of commerce, of jobs, of airplanes, hotels would vanish, because it's an incredible feat. It's
Yeah.
like doing someone setting up the Super Bowl, but 50 companies, 100 companies doing individual things, all producing this great spectacle.
Yeah.
And we can talk a lot about how it was kind of disappointing, or there weren't a lot of things for us to see that we're interested in. But of course, we're only part of the equation. The other part is all the guys who are here to make deals to sell their products or
Shake hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of it is behind closed doors. There's all sorts of things going on in suites and meeting rooms, a whole lot of advertising and marketing deals going on.
And there are people selling stuff on the show floor, just selling their iPhone cases or their accessories or what have you. Like just tons and tons and tons of booths that we can walk by and be like, well, there's no news here, but that's because they're just trying
It's
to
not
sell-
for us.
Yeah.
Just trying to sell
It's-
stuff.
we are the wrong audience for that. So what is your strategy for traversing the floor? Like, how does this, do you have certain companies and products that you target based on the press conference day? Is your editor assigning you certain things? What is your routine for CES?
So for me, it's varied each year. I generally have a few companies that I'm definitely covering each year. So I go and have appointments and I go check out their booths first, and then after that, I think I'll always walk through Central Hall because that's kind of the biggest spectacle. That all the big companies, the craziest stuff. This year, Intel has a really cool. It's kind of a tree, and all like the branches kind of spiral up, and on it are all these ultrabooks facing downwards at you. And so you look up, and you kind of see all this color, and then you're like, oh my gosh, those are all computers, and they're all like just like.
It's raining ultrabooks.
Yeah, so like crazy things like that. You just have to check that out. But then there's a lot of cool stuff in North and South Hall, and then those are the smaller booths. There's smaller companies, and I mean I feel like South Hall in particular. You get there and you look and it just goes on forever, and you can't see like the end of the.
And there are
aisle.
2 floors.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's really, I totally agree. That's where some of the most interesting stuff. That's where our friend the Fork, the Happy Labs Fork. That's where they're based. But you also have companies like NVIDIA, which is in South Hall. A lot of the PC stuff is there. MakerBot is there. And a lot of the robots are there. You have like, it's a hodgepodge of technology, right? And you can definitely find some interesting things. So you got a chance to walk the floor today. And what were things that you saw and you liked? We'll start with you, Christina, but we'll also ask Wes.
Sure. So let's see. So I did my stroll through Central Hall today, and I saw my Intel tree. That was kind of crazy. As far as products go, one thing that kind of is totally weird that caught my eye, maybe because of its location, but in North Hall, there's a machine that I don't normally get my nails done. I get my nails done for CES so I can look pretty when I'm doing like hands-on with products. And there's a machine that you stick your hand in and it does your nails. It takes a picture. You can get your face printed on your nails.
What? Wait,
Yes. So right then and there, they put some nail polish on your hand. You stick it under, it takes a picture of your face and prints it on your nails.
what type is it? Like a
It's like
really fine brush?
it's like an ink, basically like an inkjet printer.
It's like a CNC.
But like right on your
nail painter. Were they giving demos?
Yeah, you can do it. And there's patterns you can print out too and
Assigned.
stuff. Oh no, what have I done?
You didn't try it, I take it.
I didn't. I just.
Because you already had your nails pre-painted.
Yeah, I thought about it.
Get nails done for CES hands-on shots.
Yeah, actually what I thought would be really funny is before I realized that you stuck your hand in there, I was like, oh, like I don't really want my face on my hands, but wouldn't it be funny if I had my face on all of my toes?
That'd be kind of weird.
Yeah.
That'd be really kind of weird. Wow.
But I didn't do that either, and yeah. So that was pretty weird. Let's see. Other than that, there's so many iPhone cases. I mean, that's not one of the more impressive things going on, but like I feel like every year there's more and more, like the whole like iOS accessory space just gets bigger and bigger. Like I felt like it used to be confined just to kind of like a section of the North Hall, and now it's like quite a large bit of the North Hall, and then also like a huge part of the South Hall.
Yeah, we saw in the South.
North seemed almost entirely the iLounge pavilion. And
accessories,
and then like car audio stuff.
Mm-hmm. It was
and
like
that
half
was
and half.
kind of it. Yeah.
My goodness. Well, we saw an Aston Martin booth for the car,
Which was in South, right?
in South Hall, and really the booth was a big monolith that said Aston Martin, very classy. It was wood, and then like a railing and a car right in the middle, and beautiful car, and off the side some iPad cases that were Aston Martin iPad cases, and that's what they were selling. And that was the entire booth.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's like kind of goes to show this kind of the spectacle and like the expense.
Right.
That's
They
like
spared no
CES.
expense.
Yeah.
Right, to sell a couple iPad cases that really are for who? For people who own those cars, maybe?
I
Big
think
fans.
it's for people who want to own those cars.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe.
So you're seeing the guys who have like the Ferrari hats, they don't actually own Ferraris?
I don't know. I mean, there was the
Yeah.
Ferrari notebooks too, like laptops.
Yeah.
That somebody, I forget who licensed those.
I think it was a Seuss.
a few years ago.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Wes, what did you see?
I walked through North, and I need to spend more time in Central because that's where a lot of the big companies are. So their booths are entertaining because they always have like tons of screens, and they have really cool projector setups with, they'll have like really round, like curved surfaces. They go all the way around their booth, and they'll have kind of seamless
projections, images moving around those. But in terms of actual like products, I really didn't find much today that interested me. And I spent a few hours in the press room, so like wasn't on the floor the whole time. You know, we probably saw more cool stuff at PepCom yesterday than I saw on the floor.
Yeah.
I did see the official booth of the United States Post Office.
Yes, Postal Service. Yeah.
Which
Was that exciting?
they had a little basketball court, not court set up, just like a free throw cage, and they were just shooting hoops.
Interesting.
How did that relate to mail delivery?
Do not know.
This is what they're spending
They
on
just
textiles?
they just had a big USPS sign and they were throwing basketball, and maybe they had some boxes, you know, somewhere, some envelopes. I don't know what they were doing.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know why they were at CES. Maybe basketball technology is going to be integrated in the post office somehow. But I'm hoping to find some more cool stuff in South Hall, because South Hall is huge.
Yeah.
Like, and when we say hall, like we were saying, hall means building, really.
Yeah.
And South Hall is technically like four, kind of divided into four different pieces.
Yeah.
I don't know if each one kind of has its own theme, but I walked kind of on the top floor of South Hall and didn't find a whole lot, but
Yeah.
there's a lot more to see in South Hall.
We saw a robot that gives you a massage,
Ooh.
and this was performed on a dummy laying down, which looked like a real woman and looked really creepy. And there was like a robot with like 4 tentacles that were really thin. It was almost like a Minority Report robot, and dancing on the back of this mannequin, just in a spiral. It was dancing.
Sounds more Futurama to me.
It almost, it was very Futurama. Like, we did get video of this. We'll show it in a future show, but that was weird.
Oh, that's crazy.
There was a something called 4 Moms, the letter 4 Moms, and it was an automatic baby rocker, electronic robot baby rocker to take care of your babies.
Did it have a robot rocking?
No
the
robot,
baby?
no animatronic robot. That would have been cool.
'Cause I feel like an automated rocker is not especially new technology. Maybe it is.
I think they were selling the algorithm, the rocking algorithm.
Oh, is it
Right.
like
Smooth
special?
rocking.
Smooth.
Not just that. Yeah, because I remember seeing ones like, I don't know, like a really long time ago that just like rocked back and forth like this, but it was like super herky jerky.
Yeah,
like,
you want you want the baby to feel like, you know, it's riding on like a surfboard or
So
like
this is not like the
water
metronome
bed
of baby rockers.
No, please, no. This is for moms. We you know, in terms of real products, we caught up with people at Liquipel. Have you checked out Liquipel?
They do the waterproof
Anything.
anything.
Waterproofing anything. So this is a company that really amazed us last year. They have a special bonding process that's done in a vacuum where they apply their nanomaterial to basically the entire surface of any piece of electronics or textile. And that device, which you can actually send your phone in right now and pay $60 to $80 and get your phone liquipelled, will be completely water resistant. So have you seen the Razer Max?
Yes.
Right, so that one is water resistant as well. Right, I think they're using very similar technology. They have a bunch of B2B deals that they can't like reveal, just like Corning. They'll never say we are in the iPhone, you know, and companies will have their own name for it. And Sony, the Xperia Z, also, you know, goes in water. I think phones in the future will never will all come standard with this. You'll never risk water damage. Because they'll all have this type of bonding technology. And the cool thing that we thought was that there's no difference in the feeling of the phone, the before and after. Like, they had iPhone 5, and I had my iPhone 5, and if I didn't have like a sticker on mine, I could not tell the difference in which one was liquid propel protected, except one can go in a bucket of water, and one would be destroyed and would cost $800 if it was in water.
So you're saying both like in feel and in looking at it, like you couldn't tell any difference on the screen?
It's not like putting, you know, like a sheet of plastic on top.
Right.
It looked exactly the same. The capacitive touch worked exactly the same, except it was really surreal. Put the phone in water, press the home button, and it would be on.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you know how deep it can go?
So the submersion, I mean, it's not so much how deep it can go in terms of the pressure, but
Right.
how much time it can spend.
Gotcha.
Like, if the phone was in water for longer than a certain period of time, they didn't specify, you know, it would eventually die. And the bigger caveat is that when you take it out of water, it needs like kind of like a drying period where the water actually is all wicked off, and you can't really charge the device until for like 24 hours. Otherwise, electricity, can pass their barrier.
Yeah. But still definitely better if you drop your phone in the bathtub or the sink or
Oh
something.
yeah,
It's not
or
it's
the
not
toilet,
fried.
or if the ocean
Yes.
consumes your phone, you can still take it, and you know what? It literally like oil, mud, it all just wipes off. The demo they also give is because they also want to put this in textiles, like jackets. You can imagine this in ski jackets, snowboard jackets. The big question is whether it's breathable, and it is breathable. They had a tissue that they have this applied to, and they put the tissue in a puddle of water and took it out, and the tissue is completely dry. It's weird, but I mean, it's also something that is relatively affordable, and I think really will get built into phones if there's no big downside to them. Yeah.
And they had all that stuff demoed last year.
They did.
Like, is there really any change? They're saying it's 2.0.
They call it
now
2.0,
this year?
so that it's supposed to be 100 times more water resistant even.
That's a lot
so
more.
they just changed their bonding process. The other thing they announced is that a retail presence. So instead of mailing your phone in, because the process takes half an hour, like 24 minutes. So instead of mailing your phone in and then getting it a week later, you can actually take it to a T-Mobile store, AT&T store, a Verizon store, and they're going to sell these to those stores or your generic cell phone store and pay them $100 and wait an hour, come back, and you'll have your phone liquid power, because some people can't live without their precious phones. Right. Yeah.
Well, that's nice. That's
Yeah.
much more convenient.
Yeah, I think that was the cool. Frankly, I think it's a little better than touch lights.
Yeah.
A little better than touch lights.
Yeah.
What other things?
I saw, so I feel like I've seen a lot of silly, I don't know. One thing that I first saw at the Panasonic keynote yesterday, but then I saw in person today, one of their flagship TVs, the ZT60, is smart TV, high definition. This one isn't 4K, but it's a high def TV.
Is it plasma or LCD? Because Panasonic does a ton of plasmas.
This one is LCD.
Okay.
And it comes with a touch sensitive pen, so you can go up to your TV, you can fling from your iPad or iPhone photos up onto the TV, and then you can draw on them with this pen right on the TV screen. So you can, get up off the couch and get up and write "Hi Mom" on a family photo, and then send it back to the iPad or iPod or whatever, and then social media it wherever you
So
want.
as opposed to writing on the image on your tablet,
Yeah.
you can
Do it on TV.
fling it to the TV, walk up to the TV,
Get the pen that you hopefully haven't lost yet.
and then write a message in really big font, and then swipe that back.
Yeah, you can do that. You can also pause live TV, and so then you can draw on that, which I could see that being kind of funny.
If only
although,
Pictionary was still in the air.
I feel like this could be a fun Pictionary game on your TV for about 10 minutes until somebody just jabs through the
Right,
TV.
I would get really
Yeah.
nervous. I was
Or
guy like,
scratches on
okay,
it.
we're gonna play this game, but be really gentle. I'm like, oh, he's writing too hard on my TV.
Yeah, I definitely
not
felt
good.
the TV I wasn't pressing that hard, but you could feel the TV rocking a little bit as I was writing, and I was like, oh goodness. But yeah, I feel like in the home it's kind of a terrible. Why would you want that? You don't need that. You don't
No.
want that. No,
No.
if you're going to do any sort of photo editing or drawing on your photos or images, you're going to do it on a laptop or a tablet. But I could see it being useful maybe in offices and meetings where maybe you have a document up on this whatever touchscreen device. In this case, I guess you could get a TV and draw it. Point out oh, we need to change this figure and we
Sure.
need this chart.
PowerPoint 3.0.
More exports,
Yes,
fewer imports.
more exports. Yeah, so I could see that working, but they didn't do that example in any of their scenarios. It was all family photos.
The family is really one of the themes of the for CE.
It
LG is all about the family.
Samsung too.
Samsung
Live
all
the
about the
smart
family.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
just
smart
explore
family.
that smart life. And why do you think that is? You think they probably could sell more of these things to businesses than to homes where people really don't need to replace their TV that they bought 2 years ago. But I mean, is it because they need to hire those models, the smile and child actors, and what's the deal with it?
That's a good question. I think maybe focusing on the families. I don't know. Like in one way, I kind of feel like it's a way, like a lot of these products. CES has been kind of male focused for a long time, I guess. I think that still in families, like the dad, the guy is the one making the big purchasing decisions for like the TV and maybe like I rent, so I don't like refrigerator, dishwasher. I don't know who does that, but yeah, I think like focusing on like, oh, this is like a big like family thing, and this is something like your wife and your kids are gonna enjoy, or like the wife wants to do that or whatever.
Evernote on the fridge.
Evernote on the fridge.
Maybe it's just easy for dad to justify that unnecessary new TV when it's for the kids.
Yeah. You can each have your own like profiles on your smart TV and have your favorite channels all set up. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's nice. I think it makes for a nice advertising campaign.
Sure.
It's PC.
Yeah. Born mobile.
Born mobile.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is just the very definition of inoffensive.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
What are some things that you're going to see later on in the week?
Ooh, let's see. I am meeting with T-Mobile. I think I crossed Qualcomm and Born Mobile. Anyway, meeting with Qualcomm.
Qualcomm, okay.
Let's see. I'm checking out some different smaller companies, some startups, some robotic stuff.
Okay.
iRobot. They've got a new pool cleaning robot.
3 laws safe?
Yoshi.
Say that again.
3 laws safe?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Hopefully.
Okay.
It's not gonna
Yeah.
get
All right.
out of the pool and go
Pool
crazy.
cleaning robot, all right. Pool boys out of work all over the country.
Yeah. I've got quite a few meetings over the next few days, and honestly, I kind of forget what all of them are if I don't have my calendar right in front of me. Our calendar for like the Gadget Lab, our CES, is just crazy. But the color we picked is red, and it's just all these. It's like 100 blocks each day of red on a red Google Calendar. It's angry and kind of scary looking, and each day that passes, that day is like darkened, and we moved on. This is a happy day.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
All right. Anything that your other editors, reporters are seeing that you're particularly excited about, or that you've read? From
So some trends. I really think like the whole fitness gadget, the whole tracking, quantified self movement is really cool. I love. Last year for CES, we all wore Fitbit trackers the whole time to kind of see how far we're walking, because we talked about how big the convention center is and just the distances between hotels and everything.
A lot of walking.
Yeah, you're actually walking like 10 miles a day. We didn't do it super competitive, but I know I've talked to people this year that are having like competitions. There's like Nike Fuel Band now.
Sure.
There's the Jawbone Up if anyone.
There's a newer version of that has the Bluetooth built in.
Yeah. Fitbits, new Fitbits,
the
old
Flex,
Fitbits. Flex. And so I think that's a really cool movement. I know I moved to San Francisco and got kind of lazy for a while, and then so it was nice. Like I did the Fitbit for a while, and I was like, oh yeah, right. I sit all day and I don't exercise. Maybe I should exercise. And so that kind of actually did kickstart like a healthier lifestyle. Started walking more, and then I started cycling earlier this year.
Yeah, you start quantifying the things that you don't normally think about.
Yeah.
Then you get a different perspective, and
Definitely.
especially in like numbers and charts and graphs, you can understand. We can understand those things.
Do you like just looking at the stats and like seeing breakdowns of how you spend your active periods of like how many miles you've walked in the past 3 months versus period before that? And I don't know how granular they all get.
Yeah, it depends on the app and the product they use. I like that, and I also like beating my friends. I like being faster and doing more.
I just want a crass voice.
Competitive aspect.
I just want a crass voice yelling at me at the next fuel band.
Louis C.K.
Yeah.
Just Louis C.K. everywhere.
God, you're lazy. Why are you so lazy? Oh, that's not really running. I know
Are
what
you
you're
getting
doing.
ice cream at the store? I know you're getting ice cream at the store.
Yeah, fitness trackers. Yeah, there was a whole section down there in that South Hall for that.
Yeah. And then
We saw you walk by MakerBot. Did you check out the MakerBot booth?
I checked out MakerBot for a little bit. We love MakerBot.
Yeah, it's very cool. Well, you guys had the cover story for the Replicator 2, and then they have the 2X is what they're showing at the floor this year. In addition to do some software stuff, we did an interview with Bree with them, so that's something to look forward to. It's really cool because not only they were there last year. and they're kind of in the same place, but last year they showed off some cool stuff that were made with MakerBot, like play sets almost, like a rocket ship and like a castle play set, and the entire diorama, and they're really big, were 3D printed and assembled. This year they have a wall of MakerBot 2s, which is kind of really awesome. It's like, 50 machines printing at the same time.
Were they going on the show floor? They have stuff coming out.
Yeah, it's all on one wall printing. And then on the right side of that booth, they had, they were showing off this artwork from this guy. His name is Cosmo Wenman, I think. And he's a guy who went to museums, took photos of sculptures, of classic art, like Alexander the Great, and then imported hundreds of photos using Autodesk software, free Autodesk software, exported that, tweaked the models, and then printed those out and assembled 27 pieces into something that looks like it was from a museum, like a museum replica.
Yeah,
And
I saw those.
yeah,
Those are really cool.
Really cool. He has this really cool finishing process to make it look like bronze, and he's working on that. So really, really cool stuff coming out of MakerBot 3D printing.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So what else? What else from the floor? What else?
So some other things, I guess, continuing with the whole like TV and family-centric theme, a bit is like how the smartphone and the tablet is kind of like becoming the center of the home. Like it
second
can
screen?
control
Sure.
second screen, and also just like controlling and interacting with all of your home appliances and electronics products, like Evernote on the fridge,
right.
like interacting with Evernote on your iPad, or using your iPhone as a remote control, using your iPhone to control the lights in your house, just everything, just like your smartphone and tablet is kind of like the center, the control center.
Plus, as of middle of this year, Intel is going to require all Ultrabooks to have touch
Touchscreens?
support and wide-eye support, which basically makes every Ultrabook a tablet, and makes it able to do second screen controls for your TV or whatever, assuming you have a TV with
Which is
wide-eye
why it's so
support.
surprising to me that some companies are still making. I mean, I don't think Lenovo has a patent on a 360-degree hinge, and companies are still making laptops that only fold out to a 60-degree hinge. I mean, why not at least just go do some type of
I
convertible
think next
way?
year there are going to be way more of those.
Yeah.
Just because of this requirement.
Exactly. Yeah. You're not going to use it maybe as a tablet specifically, but having that option to put it flat on the table and not have to deal with the keyboard, makes it a little more useful.
Yeah. What do y'all think of the name laplet? Do you refer to it as a laplet? These convertible hybrid things?
Nope. I want none of that. None phablets, laplets. Nope.
I stick with convertible.
Convertible. I think I tend to call them hybrids.
But then there's the distinction between the ones that can just like fold into tablet form and the ones that actually like dock and separate into two pieces.
And there's like the swivel in close.
The ones that dock into two pieces, the processing is in the screen, so that is a tablet. It also turns into a laptop. The ones that fold are laptops that have a tablet form.
So do we
Form factor.
distinguish the former by
Yes.
calling it a tablet that turns into a laptop?
Yes.
Quotes every time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If there was one thing from the CES floor that you've seen so far that you could have today, let's say nothing super ridiculous. That's a real product. That's not the Aston Martin, because that's the one. But a real product that's being marketed. What is the one thing that you would want? Price is no object.
Price is no object.
I'm also going to take 4K TV off the table because
4K
that's too
TV.
easy.
What about Samsung and LG both have TVs with curved displays?
Oh,
Did you see
okay. No, I
those?
haven't seen those.
Yeah. Kind of cool looking. I don't really know. I don't think I need that at all, but I think it'd be pretty cool to have. I don't know. It looks pretty slick.
That's the one thing that you would
Yeah,
you would covet.
I
and you would
actually
want.
don't have a TV right now, so probably weirdly with all the focus this year on TVs, like I actually do kind of need to buy a TV. That will not be the TV that I get. I would probably get just a smaller, just HD TV,
Non-3D,
LCD, non-3D,
3D optional.
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't need to be super smart.
Yeah.
Don't need to be able to talk to it with S voice or anything.
Yeah, I got Apple TV. Doesn't need to be that smart.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wes, what is the one thing that you want? Since we might not have you on the show later.
It would have to be the Oculus Rift. I mean,
Oculus
just
Rift.
just spending like I got to wear it for about 2 minutes.
So I didn't see that. What is it?
So it's a 3D visor, totally immersive. So like you have screens, right up to your eyeballs, and it has head tracking. So you're in like the 3D world of whatever game you're playing, and you still have like a video game controller for moving around, but you can also look to the right or look to the left or like actually turn around and look behind you. And right now it's just a dev kit, so they're working on it, and like consumer release is supposed to come out this year. And so there were some things we noticed, like immediately putting on the dev kit, like it still needs work, and like obviously this is the first version. The consumer version is going to have like a higher resolution screen. So when you put it on, you can tell that it's pretty pixelated, and there's some latency where you turn and like things get a little blurry.
The refresh rate is a little
right.
low.
The refresh rate's low, but this is basically technology that cost $30,000 in 1990 and was awful, like nowhere near this good. And now it's going to be like something you can buy for under $1,000, and in a couple years is going to be really, really amazing.
That sounds cool.
And so like right now, kind of limited use case, like not too much software will support it right out of the gate, and it still needs improvements, but just like as soon as you use it, it's totally...
There's a wow factor there.
Yeah, there's a wow factor,
Yeah.
and it's like an emerging technology that's going to be a big deal relatively soon.
That's awesome. You know what? I lied about the Curve TV. If I would get one thing, I think I would get the new Lego Mindstorms.
Mindstorm
actually.
EV3.
EV3.
Third generation.
Yeah, because I
Ah.
keep meaning, I did some robotics when I was in college, and I'm always like, oh, I need to get back into that, and it's, I just need to get back into programming and building some stuff. And I think that'd be super fun,
If age 6 to 12 can do it,
Yeah.
I can do it too.
I can do, yeah,
Sure.
totally.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So I think I'd do that.
Cool.
Yeah.
That one's out on sale later this year. They expect those to sell out real fast though.
Yeah. I mean the NXT is doing like super awesome.
Cool. Good pick. We're going to go wrap it up with thank you so much, Christina. Thank you, Wes, for filling in for Robbie. I feel the ginger quotient has been increased.
Anytime.
Yeah. Anytime. You got pizza. Don't complain. The reason mirrors don't flip top and
yes.
bottom
The mystery.
is because the axis in which a mirror flips is not left to right. The axis is depth. You got to imagine that you're being flipped, inverted inside out this way, and not flipped like that. Not flipped from left to right. Think about it. Just something to think about. At the tables, at the blackjack tables, at karaoke, whatever. That will do it for us from CES, the Day 2 show recap. We'll be back tomorrow with another set of guests. Tomorrow is actually going to be our friends, if they show up, I'm really hoping they'll show up, Brian Lamb and Nathan Edwards, both from The Wirecutter. Nathan Edwards also writing for Tested. We'll have some interesting stories to tell. Thank you so much, Christina. Where can people find you?
Wired.com/Gadget Lab. And also, I'm Red Girl Says on Twitter.
There you go. Perfect. And thank you, Wes, again. You are on Twitter.
Wesley Fenlon on Twitter.
And we can find your work on Tested.com, among other sites, Wirecutter as well. I'm Norm. You can find me online at nchan, and you can find more videos from CES 2013 at Tested.com. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Tomorrow, some other time. It's on the internet. We'll see you guys. Good night.